The southern runway has been declared unfit for departures.
I've got some crows on the runway eating a carcass. If you go on Sierra 6 and head to the west, it should be on the centre line.
Flocks of birds have been spotted on the runway, and Senior Airside Officer Ian, along with his partner, Ranger Officer Neil, have to sort it.
Checker's entering runway 27 left now. So that plane's waiting to take off, but he's not going to take off until we find out where this animal is.
And a carcass attracts birds, which can cause a bird strike, potentially putting passengers' lives at risk. So all departures are suspended.
Hold position and contact ground on 121.905.
As soon as anything happens to disrupt the schedule here, there is going to be a knock-on effect. Most of the aircraft that depart here have to come back here on the returning flight as well. So, yeah, the knock-on delays can be throughout the whole day.
With each passing minute, the backlog is ever increasing, with thousands of passengers sitting waiting to depart.
So Sierra 6, head towards Sierra 6.
Dr. Juliet, contact on control 119.
But with over 2 miles of southern runway for Ian and Neil to scan, it's a race against time.
That's it. Looks like it's it.
Who'd have thought such a small bird could stop so many big birds and bring a billion-pound industry to a grinding halt?
What we do, we leave the feathers, they'll blow away over time. There's nothing there that's going to cause any issues. So we're all done.
Yep.
Tower, Checker has vacated runway 27 left, one carcass retrieved.
Checker, roger.
Probably a good 5 minutes of departures not happening. It probably costs, time-wise, 4 departures.
Ian and Neil have saved the day. Now it's down to air traffic control to try and clear the backlog of departures.
Spirit 7 Tango Golf, good afternoon. You are cleared to Atlanta. Climb and maintain altitude 6,000 feet and your transponder code 1440.
Planes may be taking off, but for Airside Ian and Neil, they're just at the beginning of an investigation of what and how this bird got to Heathrow.
So what's left of it, we'll find out what it is now.
Part of their job is to identify why types of wildlife are attracted to the airport and to prevent any more delays from runway closures.
I can't believe that there's no head on it or just,
Well,
you know.
I don't know, it doesn't look like it's been hit. Oh, it is actually. I'll work it out.
I don't think it's a raptor because he hasn't got the glasses. Pigeon, do you reckon?
It might be a pigeon.
Without a head, even with Ian's encyclopedic knowledge, there needs to be more detective work.
I'm generally quite good with my birds, but generally they've got a head on and they're making a sound. So habitat and what they look like and their call all help. Seeing something like that without a head and the tail on the runway is a bit more difficult.
Go and check the books.
Unaware of the temporary runway closure, inside Terminal 2, passengers are flocking towards departures.
All the way straight and then left. Find B gates. Thank you. Okay.
Thankfully, Heathrow is at the forefront of cutting-edge technology when it comes to checking in. Self-service check-in kiosks were introduced 20 years ago and speed up the pre-departure experience, getting holidaymakers closer to that first gin and tonic in the departures lounge. Although kiosks cater for over 59 languages, for some passengers it helps having someone looking out for them. Cue Heathrow's king of passenger experience, Demi.
Θέλει μου μιλάς ελληνικά.
Πώς το καταλάβω. Δεν φέρνουμε αγγλική.
Με το ελληνικό διαβατήριο και the manager. Συγγνώμη. You know that they're Greek because you can tell by the accent. And then you see the passport is Greek, and they ask you something in English and you answer back Greek, and they're like, you're Greek? And it's like, it's quite surprising, they love it. Taxi? Okay, so πάμε διαβατήριο. My dad always used to say to me, don't speak to me in English, speak to me in Greek. And we went Greek school when we were kids, so yes, it's good. All right, κράτησε αυτό και αυτό.
Τα αγγλικά σας είναι όσο καλά και τα ελληνικά σας.
Yeah, thank you. Καλώς ορίσατε στο Heathrow Airport. I think it's something like that. I might be wrong, so apologies.
Down the other end of the terminal, also ready to give you a hearty welcome, are the boys in blue. Like every transport hub, airports need protecting, so it has a police force on patrol 24/7. Heathrow's answer to Starsky and Hutch, officers Terry and Dave, have been on the beat for over a year.
So it's a lot busier than it was before. Everyone's coming in here and gaggling. I hate that, because when I'm flying, I want to get in, out, boom, see you later.
You shake it all about. It's a good vantage point. People can see us, we can see them.
Everyone here that goes through those doors are generally either seeing loved ones off or they're going to check in their bags. So they've got one goal in mind. So if you see people wandering around, looking at other passengers, then that can sort of indicate to us that they're not here for travel purposes.
And they do tend to stick out like a sore thumb as well.
Unsavoury characters aren't the only ones that stick out like a sore thumb.
Go, mate.
Hello, Sarge. We can see you in a staggered formation.
Delta from us 2. Can you take us off?
As Terry and Dave stagger off themselves, they're alerted to a serious incident. A plane is due to arrive after making an emergency stop en route.
Hold position and contact ground on 121.905.
On the runway, flights are back on schedule, and Airside Ian and Neil are about to carry out an autopsy at the BSRP, the bird strike recording point.
Well, first of all, we want to identify it to make sure it's something that's native to the UK and it's not being brought here from a different airport and maybe on departure because we've had a bird strike. I once went to an aircraft coming from Pakistan and they had a phone call to say that they had a bird strike on arrival. We got there, inspected it, it was all wrapped around the undercarriage. When we got it off, it was a big eagle with like a 6-foot wingspan. You don't get them at Heathrow. So it's just things like that. It helps us determine whether or not we should do more bird-wise. You go in as your first go at CSI Airfield Ops Heathrow.
Yep.
See if you can find out the cause of death.
Decapitation, I think.
Yeah. Death by 747.
Yeah.
Is it still a bird?
Still a bird.
Lovely.
Still a bird. Trying to get you imagine if it was flight, what it would look like, and just help ascertain it, you know. When you look at the coloration like that, that looks, you know, that's muted colour for camouflage, really. And it's quite dark from the top.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's weird. I can't work out what it is. Well, we know it's dead.
Yeah.
We've established that much.
After verifying the bird is still a bird and no longer alive, Ian takes measurements and photos to send to a specialist bird strike company for identification.
So what they want is the wings open like that, so you get the full range of the colour of the plumage underneath the wings. You then turn it the other side because you've got different markings on the top.
You would normally take pictures of the beak and stuff like that, but it's the head's missing. It's not.
And as the span,
it's possible.
Yeah. Next port of call is now bag and tag it, put in the freezer.
If they're not able to identify it through the pictures, we will keep it in storage, and then we have the option then for taking the DNA or sometimes just feather samples. They look at the feathers under a microscope and they'll be able to find out what sort of species it is. Lunch now.
Chicken?
Yeah, bit of lunch.
The duration of a flight from Bangladesh to London Heathrow is around 15 hours with one stop. Tonight, a plane is arriving that's taken 19 hours and had to make 2 stops, because sadly a passenger died en route. Officers Terry and Dave are getting the details from passenger experience managers Kohler and Newman, who've been in contact with the plane.
Aircraft had a medical emergency and got diverted to Baku. 45 minutes into that, there was a death on board.
And the aircraft was on the ground at this time?
It was on the ground at the time. However, since then, the body has come off the aircraft, but then moved into the hold of the aircraft. So there's no death certificate, there's no paperwork to go with it.
Is that definite?
Yes.
Okay.
When the passenger died in Baku, Azerbaijan, death was pronounced by local doctors, but no death certificate was issued. The body was placed in the hold and the journey continued.
This is an unprecedented event, a death on board, which is generally a straightforward procedure, but this is racking my brain. I've got a bit of a headache, so we're going to have to unravel this mess that's been caused.
With no cause of death documented, the plane arriving into Heathrow is about to become a crime scene.
It may be that we have to keep all the passengers on board the aircraft and all the cargo and luggage in the cargo hold until we know what's gone on and spoke to some key individuals on board the aircraft. Then no one's going nowhere.
We wouldn't just put something in a hole without having a manifest. Like, say, you've got one deceased body.
A dead body arriving with no death certificate.
The body should have stayed in the country where the person passed away, unfortunately. It seems like certain systems have been circumvented and the body's been placed in a cargo hold. I mean, there's no way of making that more glamorous than what it is.
The plane is 5 hours late in arriving, but because of the medical emergency, all 435 passengers have to remain on board until Dave and Terry can establish there's nothing suspicious about the death. So temperatures are rising.
18 hours we've been on this
I understand
plane,
that.
So
I understand
people are
that.
feeling
Yeah,
sick.
I understand that, but we have to treat this as a crime scene until we can prove that nothing's untoward, right? Someone's family.
Because I've got a sick mother there.
Not being funny with you, mate.
Yeah.
I want this as done as quickly as possible because we've got the family here.
Yeah.
All right, we're not going to slow this up.
But take a look yourself. How much people are feeling sick.
I understand
and kids.
The longer we prepare about it, the slower it's going to be. I can totally relate with the individuals. Like, I'll be stuck in a runway for 20 minutes and I'll start getting annoyed. As soon as an aircraft lands, people start opening their seatbelts to ready to jump off to go. And that 1 or 2 minutes delay on the aircraft docking and the jetty bridge attaching to the aircraft, that could feel forever. It's going to get them really frustrated, especially if they've already been there for 19 hours.
Fortunately, one of the passengers on board is a doctor who took a key role in the incident.
The flight crew issued a call for a doctor, so I offered my services. The lady was 75, and the history was that she'd actually been unwell with a pneumonia in a local hospital in Sylhet. The family thought she was getting better, so it was her wish, because she's a British citizen, to come back to the UK.
Whilst Terry gets as many details as possible from the doctor.
You haven't pronounced life extinct though, have you, yourself?
I've written a note to that effect.
Dave talks to the family.
So I'm sorry for your loss. Heathrow and the police haven't dealt with this sort of situation before. So it may take a little bit longer, but rest assured we will get this done as quickly as possible because we need to make sure that nothing untoward has happened.
In these difficult situations, Heathrow has a group of chaplains to help distressed passengers. John is one of 8 at the airport.
In an emergency like this, we're there to provide some comfort and to help sometimes to explain the process that they're going through, because they're usually in a state of shock, they're very upset, and they've been given an awful lot of information by different people. And often it's just a case of holding somebody's hand while they cry.
Terry and Dave are now happy to allow passengers to disembark, but their luggage in the hold will have to stay on board whilst they confirm the identity of the body and make sure nothing untoward has occurred.
We need to go down and see the body and the box. Yeah. Hello, we're coming now, Sarge.
Whilst Terry and Dave manage a very sensitive situation, over in Terminal 2, passenger experience manager Demi should be winding down as he comes to the end of his shift. But not tonight.
Bag tags to your right, check-in assistance to your left. If you have baggage tags, over to this side. No, where the maze is on the right. You've got to stay in this line here. Maybe behind these people you sit here.
In Demi's terminal, check-in should take on average only 70 seconds.
So we've been waiting 45 minutes and it's so slow.
Yeah, we travel quite a lot and this is the first time I've seen this amount of chaos in an airport. We normally go, 3 or 4 times a year and haven't seen it this bad.
And one family's holiday could be in jeopardy.
So we're going away to Thailand, all of us, hopefully, if we can get on the flight. People everywhere, no one, any idea where to go, no one has a clue at the moment.
There are 116 kiosks in Terminal 2, all with the ability to print your boarding card and luggage labels in a matter of seconds. But currently, the computer says no.
There's an app that's overloading the system because it's not been updated. I think it's because they've got extra flights in the schedule, new summer schedule. Do you know, there's not a lot we can do, but for the start of Easter break, we can't be dealing with this stuff. Hello, mate. What's going on, fella? Have we got the guys here?
Well, I've just called them now.
Yeah.
They have been coming in and out, turning all the machines off.
Even Heathrow can't escape the universal truth. If all else fails, unplug and reboot.
It's not good when the app kicks everything out, and not only that, it then has to reboot the machine, which stops others from using it. So it's just a bit of a snowball effect.
Time for Demi to sort the situation out the old-fashioned way. With check-in desks, and not a moment too soon for the Sampson family.
Sorry, sir.
I'm really pissed off.
Sorry, I can't move him behind you if he was ahead of you. That's the thing.
Look at how many people are there.
Where's your ticket? Where's your bag tags? She's got them all. Have you got the bag tags?
No, I can't use the machine. I'm struggling with it. It's saying it won't do a family check-in.
So you're in the wrong line now. Give me 2 seconds. So basically, the family's been queuing up. There was a gentleman in front of them who was in front, and all of a sudden his family turns up with another 6 people and another 7 bags. Obviously, the gentleman's upset because obviously he's gone from going forward 2 steps to going 5 steps back. And not only that, he's tried checking in, it won't check him in. So he's been sitting in that line for nothing. I'm not going to move. I'm going to speak to Air China, see if I can help him out. Hi, buddy. Just need a bit of help, right? So we've got a family of 5 flying there.
Demi knows Terminal 2 like the back of his hand. So although the kiosks are down, he knows exactly who to speak to.
Do you want to come with me?
Let's go.
I'll take you to business class and get you checked in there, or it's first class, because you would have been coming to the back of that.
Brilliant.
I think that would have been it for you.
Nice one, thanks. Appreciate it.
That's all right. This gentleman here with the glasses will look after you, all right? That's all right, you take care of yourself. Have a good time, all right, guys? Take care. That scenario there, he was ready to sort of like explode a little bit. He was ready to flip out. And you could just walk past and hear the conversations Mum having with Dad. It's like a typical marriage, and biting at each other, and it don't sound good. And they're going on holiday, and they've probably paid thousands of pounds. It's not a couple of £100 special offer. If I can do something about it, I'll do my best to just make it a little bit better.
Out on the apron, officers Terry and Dave are with the doctor from the arriving Bangladeshi flight.
There you go, they're just over in this air ambulance.
Because there's no death certificate, they have to identify the passenger who died en route to the UK.
Do you want the doctor to come on board with us, because then he can verify that the lady is the same person that he's pronounced life extinct, yeah? And that gives us some continuity. And we'll give a cursory check over, as what we would usually do. And then so long as what the lady's been transported in is fine, then that plane is good to go. All right?
That's the same lady, yeah? Same clothing and everything?
Yeah. Okay. The doctor's with us. He's verified that the lady he's seeing now is the same one he saw that he pronounced as life extinct. In terms of the airline, everything's good to go. The baggage can come off, cargo can come off. There's no cross-contamination issues. So, all right, cheers, boss. Bye-bye. Bye. Cola, the aircraft's fine. You can do what you want with it.
With suspicious circumstances ruled out, the passengers can finally head home with their luggage.
In total, we spent like about 24 hours easily just on a plane. When we got off, I mean, that was just like, it was a big relief for that brother and a sister. They lost their mother. Really sad.
There's a little bit of shell shock because at the end of the day, there was a lady who died and the family were distraught, and that was difficult, and my thoughts go out to them because their grief was very apparent.
All the paperwork is now in place, so the body can be released and make its way back to the family.
You never forget the sudden deaths that you deal with. Each one has its own unique way of being remembered, and obviously as this one was a really unusual situation, so you'll probably never forget that one.